Oh, my name is Tico Zendejas, and I was a former student of Mr. Mitchell's back in 2000, 2001, and I kind of stumbled across one of his classrooms and never left in 2 years. I purposely took every single class that Mr. Mitchell was taking, and he had an amazing impact on my life. I can't really tell you what I learned in geology or marine oceanography. I can't even tell you what classes I took, really. But I left every class with just an appreciation of life and an inspiration to challenge myself. Just seeing a great example, and Mr. Mitchell taught me a lot about life, and I always remember him. He's always been my favorite professor, and hadn't seen him probably in about 6 or 7 years, but every time I drive by Woodland Community College, just a bunch of great memories come by. And Mr. Mitchell, you had an amazing influence on my life, and I think you knew that, but I would have liked to say it. I would have liked to express it a little bit more. But anyways, thank you for teaching me about life and inspiring me to be where I am today. And honestly, I owe a lot of it to you. So thank you very much.
Hello, this is Andy. Real fond memory that I had of Lee was we're growing up, and Lee used to, and the siblings, Jeff, Susan, Dan, seemed like we'd always roughhouse with Lee, and dog piles, and very vivid memories of in the backyard and at the house on Manning is having Lee had me by one hand and Jeff by another, and Susie on one foot and Dan on another foot, and just spinning circles and getting us so dizzy we couldn't even walk straight. And from that point on, it was just I always thought of Lee as very strong, and that's his strength is something that's very, very special, and a very true strength. We really appreciate Lee and Shirley coming down a couple of years ago to be our Santa. Turns out we had 3 Santas that day down at the Hahn Winery, and celebrating, doing our wreath making celebration. And by far and away, Lee's was the best Santa there. And in fact, Shirley, if you're thinking of something to do with that suit, it's a fantastic, amazing suit that you had for him. I'd be honored if you could pass it along if you don't have any other plans for it. You can keep the pillow though. I got that part covered. Love you, Lee.
Okay. Hi, my name is Bernadette Lopez. I've been crew chief for a few events in the Furnace Creek 508, and also I've served as crew people for RAM. I just wanted to say that Lee was quite a teacher. He gave me my first crew chief lesson. I had a boyfriend who wanted to aspire to do the Furnace Creek 508, and I was going to be his crew chief. And at one of the doubles that he was trying to qualify, there was this man in his red van, and someone said, "Go talk to that man." And here was a busy man. I went over to him, told him what was happening. He spent an hour and a half with me, teaching me the most important parts about the beginnings of how to do crew chiefing. He only taught them things that were important, such as how to pee by a van. Things that were just very valuable, how to open the door, how to be discreet, how to treat your crew, everything he was just a wonderful, giving man. And that was just sort of the beginning of my awe with him. Later on, I did do the Furnace Creek 508 as crew chief, And so I went from this wonderful experience with him to a section of just ultra mortification, because we passed our inspection, but we had a little event that night, and the van was sort of a mess. And that morning, before we took off, he walks by the van, he looks at the van, he looks at me, and as he walks by, he says, "What a mess." And I knew he was right. So here I am. We got everything back together, and as you know, with all these cycling stories, there are always stories upon stories. In addition to him also helping me through a century as a cyclist myself, though I'm not an ultra cyclist. But he was always a great teacher. We always felt safe on the road with him. And I just wanted to say also that I have to thank his family. You know, Lee was great, but how do you become that important and that great and have all these people who are around you love you so much? I think his family has been magnificent, so thank you, even though I don't know you. Because I think if it wasn't for Lee's family, I don't think Lee would have such a wonderful passion in his life for cycling. I think his family has been wonderful. And then I think about other things like, what does it mean for Lee? So Lee is not only a legend and a teacher, but I think that all of us now, as not only crew chiefs, as crew, and as cyclists, we should take a part of what Lee was and take it out on the road. We all know what a good cyclist looks like. We all know what a good crew looks like. And we all know what also a bad cyclist looks like and a bad crew can do, and the difference in that. And I think it's important now for us to carry that memory and carry those lessons that Lee has taught us. I know that one of these days there'll be another Lee Mitchell, someone who will be worthy of a red van, playing CCR music to the perfect cadence over the top of the hill. And he'll inspire other people like me to learn the lessons. And I just want to say thank you, Lee, and to all the cyclists, especially those who do ultra distance, stay out of the van and out of the chair.
Good. Go. Okay. So Lee, this is a message straight to you. I'm hoping they send you a copy. You got his forwarding address, right?
Yeah.
Email?
Sure.
Don't send it as an attachment. You want to put it right into the body of the email. So anyway, thanks for everything you've done. It's really been great. You've helped us all out so much. I wanted to share with you a memory where you really made a difference in my experience, and one was, of course, the big one. Crewing for us for Tom Kingsbury and I in 2006 on two-person Ram, and me being just dehydrated as a dog in Arizona, and you managed to get me back on the bike. I will always remember you for that. And another great experience where I had started Davis Double with the wrong pedals, and my cleats were not compatible. They're both brand new, but didn't work together. And I was riding anyway, and I got to about 20 miles, and you were corner marshal at that famous corner, dressed up as Santa Claus. I said, "Oh, here it is. Here's my chance to correct this problem," because I got a long day ahead of me without it. And sure enough, you just handed me the keys to your van and say, "I got to stay on this corner, but you know what this is for." And I got in the back of your van and found the right pedals and finished the ride. And I'm sure there's 1,000 stories out there like that. You just keep doing what you're doing, and I'm hoping someday we get a chance to ride together again.
You know, Lee is a great guy. I try to surround myself with good people, and Lee is one of the best, if not the best. Always there to help somebody. You hear all the stories, but you know, he's such a good person, such a good caring person. That's what I look for in a person, and I hope I can be as good as Lee was and give as good as Lee does. He was there for the double centuries and going up this big mountain, and all of a sudden you hear that van come up behind you and you hear that music come up behind you. The inspiration he gives you and the brevets that he's been there for us, and you know, there's no words you can put into it. But my prayers go out to him and his family, and he'll still be with us at every ride. Every ride, he'll still be with us. So, thank you, Lee.
Hi Shirley, or whoever this is going to, it's PJ, you know who I am. You know what? I just love you so much, and I just loved Lee so much, and you know, he was like the daddy I never had. All the good and love and hate and love-hate things we had going on, but you know what? I'm gonna be here for you. Whatever you need, just be it known. I think that the tampon story will stick forever, and all the different things that Lee has done for all of us. And what I'm enjoying the most today is hearing about all the other things that he did with his students and his family. Those are things that we don't know about, and I'm really glad I got to hear about those things too, and to meet some of his family. Blessings to all of you. Lee's in a good place now, and you know, they're all having a party up there, and we're having one down here. So, love you. Thank you.
Hi!
Hi, I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Emma. Hopefully you know us.
So we have a few memories that we'd like to share about Granddaddy.
So first of all, you know, you have the whole Santa Claus thing, and everybody's heard
Every
that
Christmas.
already. But you know what? Every Christmas morning, you guys, we were there. And that was really a lot of fun for us.
I remember one Christmas, for a gift, he gave us a certificate for a whole thing of chickens. And being young, I thought it was absurd, and why was I getting poultry for a Christmas gift?
I remember this.
But then later, I figured out, or someone read it to me, I'm not sure, that we got a whole batch of chickens
To feed to a family.
that needed it in another country.
Yeah, in like Africa.
Yeah, and so that's just one example of him being really generous for us, giving us a present, and then giving someone else a present in another country.
And it was like shows how he like taught us early on like about the values of philanthropy. Is that the right word? Okay.
Another thing that I remember is probably every year or a year and a half or something like that, in Davis, we'd go to Steve's Pizza. We'd meet up with the whole family, him, Shirley, all the cousins, aunts, uncles, and we would just have a family day. I remember that we'd order lots of pizza, and we'd get into the little booths, and we'd have games, and
We'd go to a little arcade place there.
yes, and it was just amazing. He really valued family.
And it was great to see how like he really loved us as our grandchildren. He valued us individually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all we have to say.
Thank you for coming. We're done.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, all right, you're good.
Can you like edit out the awkward?
I'll probably cry, but that's all right. Let's see. It's September the 29th. It's Lee Fuzzy Mitchell's celebration of life. I'm John J.J. Johnson. I'm one of Lee Fuzzy Mitchell's sons. Most of the formal ceremony stuff is over, and got pretty busy, so I decided I'd do my little talk here a little bit. My wife, Mary Lehman, is a kindergarten teacher, and she says that kindergartners can only remember 3 things. Interestingly enough, in my college career teaching, I found that students who are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 can usually only remember 3 things at a time as well, so there's interesting correlations between kindergartners and college students. But with that being said, I really only want to say 3 things. Number one, or the first 2 things, are things that I've learned or at least noticed of my father, is that if you pick something to do it as well as you can, work as hard as you can to do that. I think that's very important. But if you don't give it everything you have, that you're going to regret it at some point, and I personally dislike regrets. Point number 2 is that you need to be doing the things that you enjoy, and you need to be doing them now, and not waiting until you retire, not waiting till next year, next month. You need to be making those plans and taking those actions and doing those things that are enjoyable and fun and give you emotional satisfaction. You need to be doing those things now. And then the third thing is that I wanted to thank Shirley for loving my father so well that the last 25 plus years he's been a happy and contented person, and big giant. I believe the largest piece of why that is true is you, Shirley. Thank you very much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that from you on my father's behalf, and thank you for being always so sweet to me. I really very much appreciate that. Thank you, Shirley. Okay. Thank you very much. No problem. Okay, I'm going to go make an announcement.
I'm Allie. I'm Liv.
Okay, and we're here to honor my father and their grandfather, Lee Mitchell. And I just want to go on record to say that these two beautiful girls that I'm holding here are a reflection of the love and the beauty and the joy that my father gave to other people and continues to give through these blessed genetics right here. So thank you, Dad. Thank you for everything that you did. And thank you for these two beautiful girls.
Wait, what?
Just like you're talking to my dad.
I remember when we were little and we'd get to sit on your lap for Christmas and Thanksgiving and tell you what we want for Christmas, like you were Santa Claus, and you dress up in the costume. And
I remember that too.
Yeah. And that was probably my favorite part growing up, of getting to Grandma's house. Yeah, what do I do, Olivia?
I remember also when you were Santa. I remember when Allie and I did your makeup. Yeah. That's all.
We love you.
Love you.
Thank you.
And mother to 6 of the children. Well, no, actually only 4. And some of them are coming this way.
And they're gonna ruin our video.
I know. But I wanted to say something funny.
That's not the bearded one. Right.
One time when Lee was very, very young, we had a rose bush in Napa, and the street was going to be torn up, and the rose bush would not survive. The rose bush was very, very important to me. The rose bush was about 3 feet high and about 5 feet wide, and I said, "Lee, will you dig that up for me?" He said, "Sure," thinking that it was going to be a very short project. And he dug, and he dug, and he dug, and he was down a couple of feet before he got to a root that he could possibly transplant someplace else. Exhausted, sweat running off of him. He said, "Well, I never hope to deal with another rose bush again." And as far as I know, we never did. Some of the things that weren't mentioned tonight that were interesting events in Lee's life were seat belts that he put on our Volkswagen when the children were very small. We were going to take a trip to Oregon, and he stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning putting his seat belts on.
Sorry, I said something.
And the seatbelts saved our lives because we got up too early, took off on the trip, and somewhere just short of Willows, the Volkswagen turned over. spilling children in all directions. And Lee and I had seatbelts on because he'd stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning putting them on. And we could then attend to the children. Well, your mother was the only one that was hurt. Roxanne was hurt.
Oh, that's good to know.
No, and I guess what type of injury did she have? Guess. What did Rebecca have?
Oh, she broke her. Oh no, I actually don't even know.
Her spleen. Remember, Becca had to have hers removed. Your mom's was badly bruised, and so she was in the hospital for 3 days. The rest of us just got out after you.
That's why you should wear seatbelts.
So everybody wears seatbelts. Here come some more of the kids. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh,
You know, I can't
we are the bearded ones here to honor the bearded one that has recently gone on to the next transition. And so this is the brother here, the older brother, Uncle Paul, and then a bunch of the other brothers, John, Roy, Kit, and Andy.
Oldest nephew, yes.
Yep. So we're here to honor the men of the beard.
Amen.
Fuzziness forever.
Fuzziness forever.
Fuzziness.
Fuzziness forever.